So I recently finished The Boys. Yes, I know, another show that I'm late to the party in. I started watching this show and like it's actually genuinely really good and it lives up to the hype that people give it. Now, in recent times, I recently fell out of like love with, superhero stuff like Marvel and DC. I'll still keep my eye out here and there just to see what it's all about, but shows like The Boys and Invincible is what brought me back into liking it because I started to realize that superhero content is actually good if you do it right, and this is the prime example of that. No pun intended. Now let's get right into this. I just gotta say, this show, I like it overall because it's very action-packed. It's got a really good story, well written characters, and pretty damn gory, and I'm kind of glad it doesn't hold any punches, and I really do appreciate that it's willing to take any risks of doing what it needs to. The only issues I really have with this show are really just nitpicks, honestly. So I can't really say anything really negative for the most part. I gotta say, man, Homelander, definitely my new favorite villain for sure. Huey and Billy Butcher are definitely my favorite characters throughout the entire show. With Huey and Billy Butcher, with the whole situation that starts off with Huey, right? It starts off kind of like a normal show with episode 1, and then A-Train just sliding through his girl, basically just demolishing it. Shit was insane. And it was cool to see Huey progress as a character, right? He wanted revenge, and he started getting revenge, and then he started to realize that he doesn't feel right about it. Then he wanted to do things the right way, and then he learned that he can't do things the right way. It's hard. And then Billy's also another interesting character. He's quite an asshole for sure, right? He's definitely makes me laugh at some of the things he says for sure, but it's kind of weird because when you see these two interact with each other, it's kind of interesting how their interactions are, because Huey's kind of I guess the moral type of dude in a sense, and then Billy's does whatever he has to get the job done. And I absolutely love it, because one thing I do like with The Boys, the actual crew, themselves, the characters that are trying to take down the, I guess you can call them the corporate superheroes, the corporate Justice League, Homelander, the corporate Superman, or however, that's how I like to look at it personally for me. Yeah, with these characters though, with the boys themselves, I actually like how they all have their point of view and opinions on things that I feel like if you look at it in the perspective, they're not wrong to think that way. And sometimes it's hard to pick who you agree with. The thing I always like to do is put themselves in their shoes. Is if you were in this situation, what would you do? Huey, I know, means well, and he has some good points. And then Billy has some good points, and he makes sense sometimes too. And when you think about it, it's kind of you do what Billy does, you can get the job done, but it requires some really questionable things that I don't know if anybody would like to do. And then Starlight's another character that I actually enjoy in this one. Now, my only real issues with the show, I feel and this is going to be quite a nitpick, but I just gotta say, I think there's a little too many characters being introduced, and I feel it could be pretty overwhelming at times because it's kind of there's so many stories to tell. Sometimes I forget there's certain characters in the show. The Aquaman dude over here, throughout, sometimes I even forget about him. I mean, I'm kind of glad in season 3 he gets used more, and same thing for A-Train. And Black Noir is also another character that I think looks really cool. I would have liked to see more of him. I mean, in season 3 we do get to see a lot more of him. There's a little more of a backstory with him, and just when I felt they made his character a little more interesting, he goes blah, Homelander just sticks it up his ass and then he's gone. And quite unfortunate. I was just starting to like him. I always thought he looked really cool. I mean, if I heard correctly, I think he might somehow come back. I don't know, maybe they'll get the Dragon Balls and they'll resurrect them, who knows. There was another character, I don't even remember his name. He was the flammable guy. His death scene I thought was kind of silly because he seemed like he was gonna be built up for something. I don't know, I thought he was gonna have a redemption arc because he's oh my god, I can't believe I did so many wrong things or whatever. Just the way he went out because he was upset because his statue was removed or something like that. I don't know, I guess maybe halfway through they were hey, maybe we can do a cool redemption arc for him. Nah, we already got too many characters as it is. Let's just make him really sad and then he'll just kill himself. That's just how it felt for me. But anywho, moving on. Overall, that's probably just me, honestly. But I didn't really have a bad experience. I mean, and then another nitpick, I think it can be a little extreme with its humor. Its humor is not personally some of the humor in this show can probably not be for me, but other than that, I really don't have much of a problem with the show. I think it's a really A+ of a show, and I really, really love it. Homelander's my new favorite villain for sure, bro. That dude is the most intimidating thing I could ever see on screen, because when he shows up, it's kind of scary because you don't know what he's capable. He could snap at any moment. That's the crazy thing about him. Anybody that tries to fight him, there's not gonna be much of a fight. Now, speaking of fights, that fight scene between Soldier Boy and Homelander was definitely the best. I actually love that fight. That's my favorite fight for sure. And I hope we get to see more of that in season 4. Overall, a good show. There are some silly moments I think kind of take me out of the show at times, but other than that, you know, it's not really much to complain about for me personally. I definitely enjoy it. If you were to ask me what would I rate this, I'd definitely give it a 9 out of 10. Now, I'm going to keep it real, guys. Lately, I've been giving too many good review scores lately on shows. So pretty soon, I'm going to start switching that up, and you'll see what I'm talking about soon. So until then, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.